Right now, it's 65 degrees.
On air, online, and on your phone. With the new KCIM mobile app. Get all your local news, weather, sports now with our free KCIM mobile app. I guess you're just what I need. The new KCIM mobile app. Download it free on the App Store or Google Play. To know, KCIM is the place to listen on 1380 AM and 95.1 FM. This is KCIM Carroll.
KCIM Sports presents the Pizza Ranch Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Sports Director Jeff Blankman.
Thank you very much, John, and good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome here to the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Of course, we'll talk with the football coaches from Carroll and Kemper, the volleyball coaches from Carroll and Kemper cross-country coach and Carroll swim coach coming up this morning for the next hour or so here, and we'll talk about how their seasons are going. We'll again talk to Ryan Steinkamp, Craig Rowitter, Riley Ludwig, Rusty Wintermote, Thomas Nelson, and Deb Danner. That is who those coaches are. But we're going to start off with the local football scoreboard from last night, Class 2A District 8. It was Kemper winning in overtime over Roland Story 22-14. Des Moines Christian topped Southeast Valley 33-6. Greene County down Sadell 44-14. Class 3A District 1, Carroll over Creston 50-7. Mammoth Floyd Valley knocks off Lamarche 35-14. Algona shuts out Boyd and All Rock Valley 35-0. Spencer gets by Sioux Center 41-6. And Sergeant Bluff Luton rolls by Harlan 42-0. Heelan over Sioux City West 42-0. Class 1A District 2, East Sac falls to Emmetsburg 42-6. It was Sioux Central Sioux Rapids over Eagle Grove 37-8. And Manson Northwest Webster downs Pocahontas area 28-7. Class A District 7, ACGC doubles up South Central Calhoun 28-14. It was IK Manning falling to Riverside 28-20. Earlham over Southwest Valley 41-6, and Wayne Accordon beat Panorama 38-12. 8-man District 1, Arweva cruises by West Harrison 63-0. Remsen St. Mary's blows up Booyer Valley 44-12. Woodbine routs Siouxland Christian 74-0, and it was New Alfonso over Harris Lake Park 53-12. 8-man District 9, Audubon double up St. Edmund 44-22. Cam knocks off Coon Rapids Baird 62-6. Glidden Ralston beat late last night. They fall to Baxter 20-18. Baxter scores the winning points with 11 seconds left. Some controversy late in that game. Collins Maxwell also beats Colonesco 28-18. Mentioned we'll talk with the football coaches, volleyball coaches, swimming coach, and cross-country coach from Carroll and Kemper coming up here this morning. Again, our player of the game banners from last night's Audubon, Carroll, and Kemper games. Those are up on the CB Sports Network website, Facebook, and Twitter pages. The audio from the radio broadcast last night for those three games also available on the podcast center at sports.1380kcim.com. Our player of the game banners also up on our CB Sports Network website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. We'll write up game recaps from all of last night's football and today's swimming and also volleyball tournaments coming up as the weekend goes on. Check those out on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report at sports.1380kcim.com. Our video broadcast of the Kemper Roland Story game available on the CB Sports Network YouTube channel. And, of course, the New Way Forward or New Way Auto Group scoreboard show from last night is podcasted and available again on the podcast center at sports.1380kcim.com. We'll step away. Ryan Steinkamp, Kemper Knight football coach, set to join us next right here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
When you need a quick meal or one on the go, your Carroll Pizza Ranch has great deals for carryout and delivery. Order online and get 8 pizzas of country's best chicken with potato wedges for only $20. How about 2 large pizzas for $25? Or get 2 medium single-topping pizzas, cheesy ranch sticks, and a cactus bread for just $20. Check out these deals and more at pizzaranch.com today and order hot and fresh. Pizza Ranch, located off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good.
We're back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show talking right now with Ryan Steinkamp, of course, the head coach for the Kemper Knights. They pick up a huge overtime win last night, knocking off Roland Story 22-14. Coach, first of all, congratulations, and what a finish to that ball game last night.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
You bet, Coach. Have you been a part of one like that before, or is this the first one that kind of played out the way this one did last night?
It kind of reminded me of the Avoca game last year. I know we went to overtime last year, so it's kind of like you kind of knew, game plan-wise. But it came down to a lot of big plays, a lot of crucial downs too. Just really happy for our kids for their success. They've worked hard for it, so it's great to see them have that success.
Take me through late in regulation, how this game got into overtime, and then how you were able to score there in the overtime.
Yeah, actually, I think it was 14-7. We went through it a couple times on fourth down. We got it's like 4th and 3, 4th and 4. We ran the ball, and we were just short a couple times. It wasn't for lack of effort or anything. So, but then they started driving a little bit. They have one of the best kickers, punters I've ever seen. I think he had like a 70-yarder and a 60-yarder punch, just booming. So we knew that they were in field goal range. We had to use we used clock management. We got a nice stop on third down, so they went to kick it on 4th and 4 from the 20, 25. I knew the kid had the leg, and it was a little bit of a high snap, and our guys were there, and we were able to get the big stop on that field goal kick.
How did you guys then take it down and score?
Well, that was at the end of the game.
Okay.
So sorry. Right before they were up 14-7 and they were driving. I think we got a sack. So it's 3rd and about 15 from the 20-25. So it's definitely we kind of we talk about down and distance situations, and we kind of knew it was kind of screen time, and we were down 14-7 and. We had a great blitz by Tate Barry, got in the quarterback's face, and Kent Sanders did a great job playing the screens. And his job was screen, and he able to kind of jump the running back and made a great pick and returned it 40 yards, 50 yards. And then Jaron Huffman scored on a great hole by the O-line the very next play to tie it up.
Sounded like Sanders had just a tremendous game defensively. What stood out for you about his play and also the play of the defense tonight?
Honestly, the defense played great. Their touchdowns, they kind of drove it on us. They had 2 big plays, like pass plays, but we're in the right position. Their kids made plays. They're a very good team. That's stuff you can't get mad about. We're in the right position. And defensively, our run defense is probably the best I've seen this year too. About just, we never get more than maybe 3, 4, 5 yards on a play. Just, giving us a chance playing in front of the sticks. It
did look like while I was over there, though, they were really trying to ground and pound you as much as they could.
Yeah. So they're big, they're physical too. So kind of knew that. And then I was really happy with our secondary when they did pass it. Our secondary was in great position and they were ready tonight. They made a lot of improvement from the beginning of the season until now.
What did work for you guys offensively? I know you had some 4th downs and kind of used a few plays almost like a punt that turned into an interception, but kind of pinned them deep a little bit. But how were you guys able to move the football tonight?
Run game did a great job. O-line got better. Jaron Huffman ran great, and then we started just going some dink and dunk. They were kind of playing. They're kind of keen on Carson a little bit, so kind of motioned him a lot. I know he was pretty tired after the game. He gave us everything he had, but a lot of short passes. Short passes, dinks and dunks, and then our receivers blocked great and made some great plays.
What was the conversation like with the guys at halftime with the game as tight as it was?
I was really proud of them. We got a stop on 4th down for them. I'm not sure I can't remember if they punted or not, but we had 2-minute drill that was just executed perfectly, and we drove it down and scored with 15 seconds left in the half. So that was a lot of momentum because we got the ball back to start the second half.
How did you guys get that late score there in the first half?
Just some great pass protection and great passes. I think Carson had a big catch, and Brax Manami made a tremendous catch in the end zones.
Where were you guys able to attack them in the pass game? What was it, deep? Was it short game? What was working?
A little bit of everything. I know Brock threw some 50-50 balls and came down to a couple. A couple got picked off, but I said they were balls that, I didn't mind him throwing because it's down a distance, 3rd and 15, throw it up, they pick it off. It's like a punt type deal. The passing game, is this a little bit of everything. Some short passes, some posts across the middle, some verticals, just letting our kids go out there and make plays. How
physical was this game?
It was physical. It was pretty old school. I know Tom mentioned that it was kind of boring in the first half, but I thought it was fun. It was physical. There were some hits going on. Both teams were flying around. I mean, it was for the first time this year we kind of had a fast first and second quarter because both teams are running the ball.
Ryan, how could Tom Hawkap think that it's boring football? He's an Iowa fan. Isn't that kind of what he's used to, ground and pound and physical football?
You would think. I'm sure he loved the punting then from Golden Story. Those were some. I'd never seen punts like that in high school football.
How did you guys adjust to him at all and stuff? I know it's a punter, but what were you trying to do to try and get a return against that?
Well, they do a great job blocking. They're big. So we put 2 guys back there, and he still kicked it. We had him back 50 yards, and he still put them over their heads.
I know, Coach, you get the win tonight. You stay, undefeated here with the first district game. And I know a lot of people, in fact, the guys on the scoreboard show, which I was a part of for a while last night, they were talking about the Des Moines Christian matchup coming up and stuff and how big that one's going to be. But you've got another one you can't look past in Greene County. This is a rivalry. They pick up another win last night, knocking off Sadell 44-14. If I'm correct, their only loss was that season opener to Carroll High. So this is a pretty good ball club.
Yeah, Jeff, you know me. I'm looking. We're looking at Greene County now. Not taking anything for granted. They're a well-coached team. They always have good athletes too. Yep. So we definitely have to bring our best for that game.
What have you seen from them? What do you know about them at this time?
Not a lot. I still they have some good athletes. I know the coaches have been kind of scouting them behind the scenes, but for me personally, I don't know a ton. I just know that they're always good at making adjustments and getting their athletes the ball.
Coach, everybody come out of the game last night healthy?
Oh, we were definitely a little banged up. That happens this time of season, playing a full football game. We've had some great opponents, so a lot of our guys have played the full games and stuff like that. So, it's stuff that we have to definitely heal up a little bit, but we got guys that are stepping up, ready to play.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Enjoy the weekend, and I look forward to seeing that matchup and broadcasting next week, your guys' game with Greene County.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Appreciate you.
You bet. Head coach again, Ryan Steinkamp with the Kemper Knights. They pick up, again, a 22-14 overtime victory last night over Roland Story. We'll be back. We'll talk Carroll football with head coach, of course, Craig Rowetter. That's coming up next year on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
AGP in Manning, a leading agribusiness cooperative, has a utility position open now in Manning. You could be earning $23.33 per hour and have the best in business benefits package, including no waive medical, dental, and vision insurance, and a pension. Join their team today at agp.com/careers. That's agp.com/careers. Grow with the team at AGP in Manning.
Craig Rowetter, the head coach for the Carroll Tigers, joining us here after they pick up a 50-7 road win last night down at Creston. And, Coach, appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday morning. And congrats, man. Another huge win, and this team really seems to be kind of coming together right now.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, it's always great talking to you in the morning. It's even usually better after a big win like that. And, again, all the credit goes to the kids. They just, from the first snap of the ball, they executed the game plan that we had on both offense and defense, and it just kind of fell into place, almost just like we had, drawn everything up at practice. So that was kind of neat to see.
I know that you never get a perfect game, but was this as close as you guys have had so far to executing everything as well as you wanted them to?
Yeah, it was. We were clicking on all cylinders. In fact, I think after the first quarter and maybe slightly into the second, my biggest grief was the kickoff team was kind of giving up some chunk yards and on some big returns. But after watching the tape and stuff, and they called it, we were getting held and blocked in the back, and they did call all those, so it got brought back and stuff. But it was a little frustrating at times seeing them, get what we thought was good field position, but then you saw on the tape why they were in position to get that with the holding and the block in the back. So it was not as, but other than that, it was probably as complete, especially the first half anyway, that we've played.
Yeah, I was going to say Nick Brinks had you outgained them in the first half, 280-62. Part of that came on a 71-yard touchdown run early from Taden Peterson. I think second play of the game. Had to have been a crease. The offensive line had to have done their job, and then he had to have probably got through that pretty quick.
Yeah, I believe it was 2nd and 2 or 1, because we had a nice Carter made a nice read, a little RPO read that they were playing quite a ways off of Reese in the slot, so we actually just slung it over there on first down. I think it got us 8 yards, so we were just going to power it up the middle with Taden, and the offensive line blew it open, and I'm not sure if he got touched when he went through there, and kind of the short yardage, thinking you're going to grind it out, and there he popped it for 70, and then he outran all the secondary, so it wasn't just power like you kind of think of Taden. He showed his speed on that one.
Coach, how fun is that to get that kind of a play early in the game to set the tempo?
Yeah, it definitely sets the tone. And plus I think it helps to put a little doubt in the opponent too, thinking here we go again. And it's been, even the game we lost against Gilbert, I think we've started out with a touchdown on every opening series for our offense this year. So, it kind of doesn't let the defense relax, but at least gives them a little confidence too. Seeing, Creston wanted to start with the ball last night, and so I think the defense took a little offense to that and shut them down early and got us good field position, and and then we're able to punch that in, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the onslaught there in the first quarter.
4 straight games where you score, you said on the opening drive. Do you guys script that, or is that just kind of calling plays on how it feels?
I know the first play going in, and then we see what we get. And even tonight, it's kind of a two-way go, and I think that's the benefit of, I've said that before too, having Carter Essick at quarterback, being a 2-year starter, kind of already been in the fire last year. He has a green light, and so we give him the run-pass option. And like tonight, they were way off on Reese, so technically I called the run play, but he has a green light to swing it out there to Reese, and that's what we did. So, but yeah, and then after that, it's just we'll run our base stuff and see how they adjust. If they don't adjust, I guess one of the good things about being kind of boring is I don't get bored. If I get 8 to 9 yards on the play, guess what? I'm probably going to do it again. It's probably from my old defense coordinator days, thanking people for if they had something that was working and then they switched to something else. I'm like, hey, thanks, because we couldn't stop that. So
up 30-0 at the end of the first quarter, Coach. Not even the first half. End of the first quarter. How do you keep the guys focused to get up 43-0 at halftime and continue to dominate?
It wasn't hard at all. I mean, we knew. I mean, the trap kid for Creston at running back, he was running hard in the fourth quarter. Against our JV guys, as hard as he was in the first. So we knew he was going to be, one to focus on, and kept our attention the whole game long. And I think that was one of the benefits of having seen some really good running backs up to this point. Is they know how quick it can turn. So defense had, they were focused all night. They were got some great turnovers for us and set us up with some short field. And that's how really you get the 30 points in the first quarter, is just taking advantage off of our defense's forced turnovers.
You mentioned some of the younger guys, JV guys, getting in the second half. What did you see from them? That's great experience to get a play on a Friday night under the lights.
Yeah, and we actually told them at halftime. Coach Nagel brought that up with our scout team, that we got a great look all week from our scout team on both sides of the ball. And there's some positions that we emphasized where we thought Creston was good, and we used some of our better, our starters in scout roles this week. And it got to the game, and it was actually tougher in practice than the look we got last night. So. we just, credited those scout guys. And, Adam Malik had I think he went 60 yards dang near untouched, too, on just a simple trap play, but he had a nice little cutback, and he was off to the races. And so it's fun seeing those young guys have success. And it wasn't against, it wasn't twos versus twos or three. They had their starting group in there, and our young guys were having some success. And it was a great experience for those guys.
Coach, you traveled hours south and east this last week to last night. Next week you travel north and west as you head up to MOC Floyd Valley. They picked up a 35-14 victory, opening game of the district for you next week. I know some people already looking ahead at your guys' matchup with Heedland, but I'm guessing you're pretty focused on MOC Floyd Valley.
Yeah, they've had our number the last, they've got us 2 in a row now. And that was one last year where we definitely felt like we let that one slip away. So yeah, there's no, and I said last night to Nick on the interview, I believe MOC was kind of the pick early on for front runner in our district with the quarterback they have coming back and one of the top receivers as well. So they're going to be dangerous on offense. They're always extremely well coached on defense. We'll have to have some wrinkles on our offense just because they do a really good job of following, your pulling guards. And, they're just rock solid on their defensive keys. So we'll have to have a few tricks in the bag, but it's definitely MOC has our full attention and deservedly so.
Well, Coach, it's always great to catch up with you. Appreciate you joining us here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We'll see you here in just a little bit up at the high school for the volleyball tournament this morning, so we'll catch up with you again here soon. But congrats on another win last night.
Yeah, I'll try to keep my eyes up and see if you sniper me on catching me on my scouting. But, yeah, looking forward to a day of volleyball here, and we'll get some scouting done. But we, like always, just appreciate the coverage that you give us and all the area teams. And go Tigers!
Well, you're safe today, Coach. I'm not shooting video today, so you could. I won't be sniping you while you're watching film today.
I'll hold you to that.
All right, head coach Craig Rowetter joining us again here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We'll step away back right after this on KCIM.
Game day just got better at Mac and Rita's at Carroll National. They're now open every Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to close, featuring their game day menu. We're talking all the action. 5 85-inch screen TVs to watch your favorite college or NFL team in style. And don't miss happy hour from 11 to 1 with half-price drinks. Enjoy the ultimate game day experience. Join Mac and Rita's this weekend, where game day meets great food, drinks, and fun. Open to everyone.
Welcome here to the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show again on this Saturday morning. Let's talk a little Carroll volleyball right now. As joining us is head coach Riley Ludwig. He had the Tigers 4-3 over the last week since we talked last Saturday, going 3-3 up at South Central Calhoun's tournament with a couple of 2-1 tough losses in really good matches, and then picked up a 5-set win over at Denison Schleswig on Tuesday. Coach, have you caught your breath yet from Tuesday and from some of those games last Saturday?
Oh my gosh, there was quite a few really, really, really fun games, and that one in Denison was kind of crazy. No, we had a good couple practices since then, and we're ready to go for Saturday. Let's
talk about that match with Denison Schleswig Tuesday. I got a chance to go over and broadcast. You kind of rolled in sets 1 and even kind of cruised a little bit in set 2, picking up a 25-14, then a 25-19 win. Fell behind in set 3 and then rallied back, but ended up falling 28-26, and then struggled maybe a little bit in set 4 and then come out and dominate set 5. So roller coaster of emotions for you and the girls, I imagine.
Oh, yes, for sure. Oh, my goodness.
What went through your mind during that, and what was the difference? What got you resettled in for that 5th set?
I think that they just knew that if we don't go out and play this last set, we walk out of here with a loss. And those first 2 sets, we played like us. We played like we know how, or we know we can. And it was just kind of a mindset change. Like, if we don't stop making errors, if we don't start thinking about what we're doing and thinking through the game, we're going to walk out of here with the loss, and none of us want to do that. So it was impressive to see how mentally strong they could be after winning the first two and then dropping two after that.
I remember naming Emily Puck our motor and player of the game that night. She finished with 30 assists as a former setter yourself. What did you think of her game that night? I thought she did a nice job of kind of moving the ball around and finding the hitter that was hot at the time.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot together about just making decisions, who to set when, and who to go to when the game is tight. And then when you're off the net, what's a better set to set when we're running plays and we're off the net, how to fix that, or maybe how to communicate with your hitters that they need to do something else in the middle of that volley. But yeah, when you have hitters like that, it makes your job really, really fun, really, really easy. But no, she's been doing a good job moving the ball around, and yeah, like you said, finding the hitter that's hot.
And you did have some big hitters that night. Olivia Rowetter finished with 13 kills, Caitlin Aiden with 7, and Amanda Ordell with 6. But even more than what your hitters did at the net, I thought what they did defensively jumped out to me. You were getting so many touches, so many blocks, finished up with 18 blocks that night. What did you guys see on film that made you feel like you could really defend Denison Schleswig at the net?
Well, they have that one really, really awesome hitter, number 7. And she definitely led their side the entire game. But shutting her down, making sure we're getting touches on those kind of gets in our heads that, hey, we can do this, we can defend these hits. And when our block helps our defense out, that helps everybody a ton.
How'd you feel like you guys served on Tuesday?
It's been better. It wasn't horrible, but there were definitely a couple that we needed to just be over and in, and we missed them short. And I'd rather they miss long or to the side, so at least the other side has to think about it. But it wasn't horrible, and we did a good job of being aggressive. I think we had them out of system a little bit more often than they had us out of system, so that was good.
Coach, how big was it just confidence-wise for this group? To be able to come and get that win, even though you had to go 5 sets, but to lose 3 and 4 and then come back and get that 5th one. How much did that help this team confidence-wise?
Oh, a lot. I think it just proved that they could do it. I knew they could do it. Us coaches knew they could do it, and I think even our subs on the sidelines knew they could do it. But the 6 on the court just had to see that they could do it. And those first couple points, we kind of pulled away from them, and I think that helped a ton for the rest of the game too.
Coach, let's bounce back to last weekend. Saturday, you guys were up at Rockwell City at South Central Calhoun's tournament. You fell to the Titans in 3 in South Central Calhoun, but you beat a good Ridgeview team 2-0. Struggled in set 1 against Kemper, but really played well in a 24-22 loss. You fall to winner set again, but go to 3. You sweep ESAC County and you sweep Kingsley Pearson. When you look back over last weekend, what stood out for you about your team and the way you played?
They played well. I mean, most of our losses they're losses that we can learn from. They're not ones that we just completely fall apart, but they're ones where we're still fighting, we're still competing. Overall, losing some of those in the middle of the day, it would be really easy for us to just give up and just be ready to go home. But instead, they're fighting through, and the schedule changed a little bit, so we ended up playing 3 in a row and skipped a break. And that was after, I think, the 2 3-set games right there. And we've been talking a lot this season about, this game is a lot of mental toughness too. And I was just impressed with how they could come back after losing a couple tight games and against Kemper and ready to go for those last couple and come out with a win.
Coach, the energy that this group seems to play with, I think they've found a real enjoyment in the game of volleyball, and I could see them jumping around and kind of laughing and having some fun. Are they taking that energy from you and your coaching staff a little bit, or is that something that this group just kind of showed up with this season?
The gym has been so fun this year. Everybody's been excited every single day. And I'm not sure where exactly it's coming from. They're excited to be here. They're having fun, and them being loud and them having fun is when we win. When we get quiet, that's when we kind of lose. So I think they've recognized that, and we're just going with that until it quits working.
Was there an area from last Saturday that when the tournament was done that you felt, okay, we've got to work on this? And then on the flip side of that, was there an area where you thought, really that area of our game was really good today?
I think we're getting much, much, much more aggressive at the net, and then the blocking, getting the touches has helped out our defense a ton, but we still need to work on some defense and passing, some serve receive, and then maybe seeing the court a little bit better on offense. But I think with how explosive our hitters are, that hasn't really been something that has hurt us just yet, but that's something we're definitely focusing on.
Another tournament coming up today, but it's one you guys get to host. It'll be out at the high school this morning. Gets underway at 8:30. Audubon, Fort Dodge, Newell, Fonda, Spencer, IK Manning, South Central Calhoun, and Storm Lake. There you'll split into two pools and then play a semifinal and a championship if you finish in the top two, and that's how that tournament works. So pretty confident going into today that this team's going to make some noise.
Yeah. This will be a good day for us to learn and maybe add some wins to our record.
How nice is it to be able to be home for the tournament?
Oh, it's so exciting to not have to get up at 5 a.m. and get on the bus. But, no, it'll be good to be home in a place where we're familiar. We kind of know, serving and stuff, that side is a little bit tied up against the bleachers, but being able to practice with that and know what's coming is good. Well,
Coach, as chipper as you are in the morning, I can't imagine 5 o'clock is tough for you.
No, it's not horrible, but it's nice to get that extra hour or so for sure.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us here this morning. I'll see you up at the tournament a little bit later on this morning, but best of luck and appreciate you joining us.
Yes, thank you. See you soon.
You bet. Head coach again, Riley Ludwig again with the Carroll Tigers, back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
When you need a quick meal or one on the go, your Carroll Pizza Ranch has great deals for carryout and delivery. Order online and get 8 pizzas of country's best chicken with potato wedges for only $20. How about 2 large pizzas for $25? Or get 2 medium single-topping pizzas, cheesy ranch sticks, and a cactus bread for just $20. Check out these deals and more at pizzaranch.com today and order hot and fresh. Pizza Ranch, located off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good.
This is Carroll County Sheriff Ken Pingree. Harvest season is here again, and rural roads are busier than ever. Farmers are working hard to bring in the crops, which means more large, slow-moving vehicles on the road. Remember, those extra minutes of patience could save a life. Keep a safe distance, be prepared to slow down, watch for turning tractors and grain carts, and never pass in a no-passing zone. Let's all do our part to ensure a safe harvest season. Stay alert, drive safe, and share the road.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on 1380 AM, 95.1 FM KCM. Again, every Saturday morning here from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock. We're talking Kemper volleyball right now with the head coach, of course, Rusty Wintermode. And, Coach, sitting 21-0 ranked, you got to be really pleased with how things are going so far.
I am, and, here it is again, another beautiful Saturday morning. It looks like we could have some rain somewhere along here, but my yard does say a little rain is needed, but it is a good morning, and it is one that my voice is waking up a little bit, but still struggling. So with you and the advanced technology that you have, if there's a way you can make my voice sound more up to date and more clear and better clear, God bless you on that one. But we're excited. We're headed to the CYO tournament, and we're going to play, St. Edmund and Remsen, St. Mary's, Bishop Garrigan, Galen Catholic, and then end up playing Bishop Healing at the end. And all teams, most of the teams, but St. Edmunds comes 7-2. Remsen, St. Mary's, I think they're 3-4 now. Galen Catholic is, I think, 6-4. Garrigan's struggling a little bit. They graduated a lot of kids last year. And then, of course, Bishop Healing, I think, is number 3 or 4, and 4A, but they're the real deal. And so, from a coaching standpoint, even for the girls, they're ready. I believe they're ready for that good challenge that all the teams are going to bring, because each one does a little bit different. But, we definitely cannot look past every match just to think about what do we got to do to try and beat Bishop Heelan on this fine day.
Is that a concern for you with the girls, or do you think they'll be as focused as you need them to be?
Well, this season, even though they're young, this has been a team that has tried to really make people play up to them. But they've also found a way to play up to everybody else's ability. So I'm hoping, and I believe these kids, because they know who they are, they follow the rankings, they know who the teams are. I believe they're going to be really good. I believe they're going to be focused for this matchup that is only going to help them when we prepare for later on for the Glenwood and the Lewis Central and the Sergeant Bluff Luton, who are all rated in 4A. This is just going to prepare them for those teams and then prepare for that third week of October when they have the opportunity to play in regionals. So I believe they're ready to step up. I should quit saying I think. Practices have gone well since the other night playing against, Red Oak and St. Albert's. Practices have gone well. We got a few injuries that are popping up. We've played a lot of games in, 72-hour periods. So we've had to do some resting of people. But as far as just taking on the teams that we're going to play, these girls have found a way to grow and to play at the other team's level besides making them play at our level. So this group has been fun to try and you don't have to motivate them because they don't look like they're ever down. They may have a few shoulders down, things like that, because they're frustrated with themselves. But overall, as a team, it's kind of like that commercial, don't let them see you sweat. I don't really notice them ever seeing them sweat. Coach, we got this. We got this. So there's confidence in their ability right now.
Was that confidence the difference then in some tight wins over St. Albert and Red Oak down at Council Bluffs on Tuesday?
It was, and even though we lost, I think it was the first game to St. Albert, they came out fired up. St. Albert did. We didn't play bad. We had a good serve receive number. We scored over a 2-point, I think it was 2.5 or 2.6 out of 3. So we really played our game. We just weren't connecting and finishing, but St. Albert's brought an A game because they were scrapping and they were picking up every ball. We all watched videos. Neither of the two teams we played did anything that we saw, weren't doing the same thing. St. Albert's ran a little quicker offense than we had seen on video. So we had to adjust to that in games 2, 3, and 4, and the girls did. Red Oak, when we watched them, they were setting high and they were hitting and they showed like they struggled with serve receive in the 3 matches I saw. We get to play them and game 1 was tough, but we still pulled it out. Game 2, they found a way, Red Oak, to just start kicking a gear because their fast-paced offense, which we did not scout very well, and I did a horrible job, but their fast-paced offense really hurt us. And it took us a little bit, even in game 3, it took us about halfway through it to figure out who they were going to most of the time, so we had to do a better job of serving into areas that forced the center to keep the ball on the one side. And we did a good job of that. For serve receive, good enough to win. We didn't serve receive as well as we did against St. Albert, but it's still above a 2. And then we did a better job of getting blocks on there. Not complete blocks, but just tips, and then led to blocks because they passed poorly if we kept the ball alive. So we did a lot. The front line did a great job of getting tips in games 3 and 4. And 1 was just kind of figuring each other out. But both teams played way better than we anticipated. So that just means that we talked after the game that everybody they're going to play the rest of this year are coming after you because they know you're ranked. They know you're 21-0 or whatever you're going to be. So they know they're going to have to bring their A game, that's respect for you. Just like when we play in South Central Calhoun, every one of those teams even though I didn't think we played very well, I shouldn't say that. The other teams played really well. We had to figure out how to play better, and, Carroll brought what they could. They did a nice job against us. South Central battled us, and they were without a couple of players. So every team is stepping up against us, and nice part about our kids is they're finding a way to survive and advance and win.
Coach, you did drop the one set to East Sac, set number 2, but really good response last Saturday. You come back, win that third one 15-5, and if I remember correctly, jumped up like 8-1 or something like that right away in that set 3 and just kind of set the tempo of it for the rest of that set.
Yeah, but you know what? Brandon does such a nice job of preparing those kids. They came out and just kind of played. We played equal. And I don't want to say it was Saturday morning because that's just an excuse. But we, again, had to find a way to survive in that morning. And East Sac was just – they were moving a little bit faster than we were, which was really weird because, again, they weren't showing that on video. And maybe video is a different story. But the girls found a way in that third game because everything started building up to that third game. Everything started to become a little bit smoother, especially in our passing. The attacking, we were just able to be a little bit smarter in where we were placing the ball. We weren't killing it. We were just doing a better job of keeping the ball alive. First game, kind of the same way. Second game, we didn't keep things alive. We just they were there. We just kind of free balled. We gave them too many easy shots. So, by the time we got to the afternoon, we started to come around because you and I talked. We talked about how I'm feeling. I said, well, I'm not feeling real confident because we're not finding a way to get out of the mud. But once these kids get out of the mud, they're gonna respond. And the afternoon games against Ridgeview, against South Central, against Kingsley Pearson, we finally got out of the mud, and we played at a little bit, better flow through the afternoon. And the girls, they were tired after all those games, but I liked the way that we ended. We started the season where we were playing faster at the beginning and then just finished matches. Now all of a sudden we're low at the beginning and then we're playing better at the end. So I like to say that we're not peaking yet, but then we're also finding a way in all these matches against different types of offenses and defenses to find answers. And, God bless those teams for really challenging us because it's just made us better.
Well, Coach, congrats on the 21-0 start. I'm going to let you save your voice for the rest of the tournament today. I'm sure the girls won't make you have to be loud at all, but, just in case. So we appreciate you joining us, and best of luck up at the CYO today.
I appreciate it, and look forward to visiting with you again soon, and hopefully we'll be able to see you next week sometime during homecoming week.
Sounds great. Head coach again, Rusty Wintermote with the Kemper volleyball team.
If you are shopping for the cheapest insurance, you're shopping for the wrong thing. After all, insurance coverage is really just a promise. And why would anyone want a cheap promise? And you've worked hard for what you have. Protect your home or business with a promise from a company and agency you can trust. Find out more about West Bend Insurance and the Silver Lining. Contact Mid-Iowa Insurance in Carroll today, 792-4324 or at midiowateam.com.
AGP in Manning, a leading agribusiness cooperative, has a utility position open now in Manning. You could be earning $23.33 per hour and have the best in business benefits package, including no wave medical, dental, and vision insurance, and a pension. Join their team today at agp.com/careers. That's agp.com/careers. Grow with the team at AGP in Manning.
Pete Durant's Coaches Show rolling on this Saturday morning, talking right now with Kemper Cross Country coach Thomas Nelson. And Coach, as always, appreciate you joining us here today.
It's always great to be here.
You bet, Coach. And you guys won meet this week. You ran Thursday at Panorama, which is always, I think, is that one of the tougher courses out there to run in the state, or at least in this area of the state?
It's definitely one of the tougher ones on our schedule. We do a lot of golf courses, and it is a true cross-country course where you're back in the woods. There's some great views. You run along the lake for a while, but it definitely is a unique challenge for our kids and all the teams who compete there.
And you were telling me that you talked to some parents that said that's their favorite one to go and watch because, as you said, it's kind of a true cross-country course.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, the views are great, and it is, if you're a kind of traditional cross-country person and you like the dirt paths and winding in the woods and a couple steep downhills and steep uphills, it's got all of those. So it's more of an adventure. I think some of our kids, really like that, and some of them more like that they can see, the long path ahead of them of you're running down a fairway and, you can just stride out for a while before having many turns.
And for a coach, though, and for the kids, warm on Thursday, and then you get back into the trees. I can't imagine there was much breeze, so how tough did that make it on the guys and the gals?
I think it made it really tough. It's definitely a meet where we're going to focus on place compared to time. And I think a lot of our kids had really good, if you looked at kind of where they came in seated compared to the competition, a lot of them exceeded where they were expected to place. So I was really proud of our kids in handling that. And, some of them, it was their first time running anywhere except the golf course, and they did really good. So I thought we had a pretty good day.
Yeah, the boys finish in third, edging in front of Van Meter and Earlham, a couple of teams you were hoping to be able to get. Dayton Wiederen finishes fifth, Fletch Bating 10th, Evan Schaefer 24th, Thomas Bottombaum 29th, Jacob McCarger 37th, and Oliver Vanami finishing in 48th for your top six guys. Talk about how things went. What did you feel for the guys?
I thought they had a really good day. Dayton, in the last week, he got fifth, you mentioned. He also got third at Holstein last Saturday. So he's got two top five finishes in the week. And I think, he's just such a strong runner. He does stuff other kids really can't imagine doing. I think he's just going to continue having a really good season. So it's really happy with that. I think Fletch has just had a phenomenal week too. He got 10th here. He got 23rd at Holstein. His times are going down. His places are getting better, and I think he just looks really confident. And I think next week when we go Harlan and then a quick turnaround to Denison, he's just going to keep that going. And he played a big role in us being able to get third, as well as Evan Schaefer, Evan Thomas, Jacob. All those guys exceeded their expectation. And when we edge a couple teams by 8, 3 points, stuff like that, every place matters. And I thought those guys did a really good job staying mentally tough and being able to finish.
And, Coach, is that something that you talked with the guys about here recently? And that is every place you move up might be a place the team moves up as well?
Yeah, it's definitely something we focus on. When you have so many different courses, sometimes it's really easy to fall into that. I had a bad race because my time was different than this one. But, if everyone at one meet runs on average a minute slower, if you ran 30 seconds slower, you just had a really good meet. So we've been trying to focus a lot on place. And, of course, time's a good indicator. But by focusing on place, it kind of helps us realize, passing that extra couple kids can really make a difference. So I think that's helped out, and it's something we'll definitely continue moving forward.
I know we're about the middle part of the season right now, so feel like the guys are getting to where you want them to be or at where you want them to be at this point of the year?
I think next Saturday at Harlan, we're going to have a really good meet. I think we've just seen a lot of progress this week, but I think there's still, another step or two that we can take. And I think with a full week of practices ahead of us, that we're going to be able to do it. Even, kind of our in-between varsity JV guys, Cohen, Charlie, Wyatt, who've been competing for that last 7 spot, their times have been going down too, and they've been getting really competitive. So, yeah, I think we're on the right track to kind of make it a second half of the season jump and keep getting some good places.
Coach, the girls finished in 7th, kind of the middle of the pack team-wise, but Casey Wiederen led you in 25th. Abby Davis was 41st. Madeline Sigamart, 47th. Logan Lee, 50th. Shelby Graving right there with her at 51st. And Sophie Tidgren right there as well at 54th. But Casey, third straight meet, you were saying that with the PR, so she's really starting to roll into form.
Yes, so Casey's PR was at Holstein on Saturday when she hit her third in a row. She didn't quite PR at Panorama, but she had another really solid race, kind of placed right where we thought she would, and she's just been a really solid. She's been so consistent as a front runner for us. She's just doing a great job, and as I've said before, I think she's a great leader at practice. I was really happy. Addie, Shelby, Maddie have all kind of battled with some colds and that stuff over the last week and a half. I was happy we had all three of them running, and I think they make a really good kind of middle pack for us. They all run relatively similar times. And I think they've had a pretty solid week. I thought Addie, especially at Panorama, being our second runner, was a really good sign. And I think she'll use that kind of like, as I said, with the boys kind of for a second half jump and keep pushing forward. And then Logan Lee, it was her first varsity race at Panorama, and she did a really good job. She finished as our fourth runner. And she's a sophomore who it's her first year doing cross country. And she seems just to be figuring out as she goes. And she's done a good job kind of trying to stick with Addie, stick with Shelby, and learning from those two. And I think she's going to have a strong second half of the season too.
You mentioned you think the boys are going to have a really good race next Saturday at Harlan, which is your next meet. How does things break down, do you think, for the girls as well?
I think the competition on both sides can be really good. You've got a lot of Hawkeye 10 schools there, plus a lot more. And then, Hawkeye 10 for girls cross country is a really loaded conference. So I think the girls are going to get challenged. I think we're going to be able to run some really good times. So I think that's a pretty runner-friendly course. There are some hills, but, for everything you go up, you also get to go down. So I think they're set up to have a pretty good week next week.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all the time. Enjoy the weekend, and best of luck coming up next week. We'll talk to you again next Friday.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You bet. Head coach again, Thomas Nelson, again with the Kemper Cross Country teams. We'll be back with more from the Pete Rance Coaches Show coming up next year on KCIM.
When you need a quick meal or one on the go, your Carol Pizza Ranch has great deals for carryout and delivery. Order online and get 8 pizzas of Country's Best Chicken with potato wedges for only $20. How about 2 large pizzas for $25? Or get 2 medium single-topping pizzas, cheesy ranch sticks, and a cactus bread for just $20. Check out these deals and more at pizzaranch.com today and order hot and fresh. Pizza Ranch, located off Highway 30 in Carroll, open 7 days a week.
Whoa, that's good. Pizza Ranch Coaches Show rolling on here on this Saturday morning. Let's talk some girls swimming right now with head coach Deb Danner. And Deb, as always, good to catch up with you.
Yeah, it's always good to be here.
You bet. We talked a few weeks ago, and you guys hadn't had a meet yet, so we kind of previewed the upcoming season. And I know Casey got a chance to come out and watch the girls swim for your home and season opener last Thursday. But first chance for me to catch up with you here for a couple of weeks. You guys had another meet Tuesday, went down to Lewis Central. Again, not a lot of girls this year, so you're not really worried about the team aspect of it with the scoring and stuff. But I know individually and relay-wise, I think you felt like the girls really performed well.
Oh, definitely. With every meet we do, they're just going to get better and better and more comfortable with it. So, yeah, and that's what we're looking at is the comfort, just improving on little things, all the little techniques that we're working on. Just trying to make them better and ready to go for the next meet, and ultimately to have them ready to go for next year and lead our new freshmen that come in next year.
Who did you feel like maybe made some good jumps or the best jumps from that first meet to the meet Tuesday?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because we kind of switched everybody's events up. So, they're all swimming something different than what they did the week before. But they all did a fantastic job. Mady swam the backstroke. Very nervous about it, but it's like we do this every day in practice. You got this, and she got in and she swam it, and she had a smile on her face afterwards. So that was just great to see. It's like she handled it just fine. So. We know we can do that again, and we'll keep working on her start, on her turns, and she's just going to get better. Briley always has a great meet. She puts everything into it. She swims fast. She did swim her fly again this time and the previous meet. And she did a good job with it. We're still working a little bit on her head position and little things like that. But she's getting better, and getting more comfortable with it. And like I said, that's really what we're looking for, is getting comfortable with these meets, how high school meets are run. So yeah, just if we can make some improvement, drop a little bit of time here and there, that's just fantastic.
Coach, that 200 freestyle relay team, Alexis Borkowski, Charlie Cheney, Mady, and Melanie Ortega finished second. Did you find something with that group that you think can do really well in the free relays?
Yeah, we try and kind of power it out in front, try and get a nice little lead. So Mady's our newest swimmer, and actually new to swimming. So, we're trying to catch a little bit of a lead for her. And then, Melanie is a strong swimmer, so we let her anchor and finish it out for us. So, it's just trying different things, You don't always have to have your fastest at the end. You don't have to have your fastest at the front. It's just, just got to try different things and see what clicks for the girls.
Coach, I know a big part for you and for the girls is, as you mentioned, kind of learning, what the meets are about. What do you think were some of the things that the girls maybe picked up at that, dual meet? It's a road one, so different than swimming at home, that they picked up that they can use for the other meets later in the year when you're on the road?
Well, I mean, just your basic, first, a big thing is I don't have to tell them when to go back and be ready for their race. Little things like that really matter, because now they're taking ownership in their own race. And that's huge for them to do that, because then they have more confidence in what they're doing. If I don't have to direct them all the time. So, even something like that, which seems really tiny, is a huge thing for them, So just everything, getting their confidence, it's, understanding the competition a little bit. It's all, kind of coming around a little bit. And, we're going to really learn a lot Saturday at the meet. And, hopefully we'll be able to take that into the next Saturday meet.
Yeah, you guys are on the road this morning here. You're headed up to Fort Dodge. Looks like Spencer, of course, Fort Dodge, Algona, and Sioux City West, some of the other schools that are going to be there. What are you hoping, along with like the things learning, what do you want to see from the girls swimming-wise today?
Yeah, I just, want to see them cheering each other on, helping each other out, just enjoying the meet. Swim fast and have a little bit of fun and just, help each other out. We're a team. We just need to come together as a team.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you joining us here today. Wish you the best of luck coming up in the meet later on this morning, and looking forward to seeing how you and the girls do later on today.
You bet. Thanks.
You bet. Head Coach Deb Danner again with the Carroll Girls Swim Team. We're back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up next year on KCIM.
When you work with Brinks Cabinet and Design, you're dealing with the pros, like Michelle Simons.
I've been at Brinks for almost 5 years now, and I started out doing the commercial roofing. My background is I have a degree in construction engineering technology. I help homeowners and even business owners fill their spaces with custom cabinetry. We have a showroom inside Brinks Exteriors on the east side of Carroll. Stop in to see our cabinets in person at Brinks Cabinets and Design. I promise we're worth the stop.
Welcome you back here to the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show, set to wrap things up here on this Saturday morning. We do thank again Ryan Steinkamp of the Kemper football team. What a big victory for them last night, winning in overtime over Roland Story 22-14. They'll have a big matchup coming up with Greene County coming up this Friday night. Craig Rowetter and the Carroll football team, congrats to Craig and their win last night. They rolled by Creston 50-7 last night. They got a big one with MOC Floyd Valley coming up next week. Thanks to Riley Ludwig with the Carroll volleyball team. They're hosting a tournament this morning. That's already underway. I'm heading up there here in a few minutes, but she took some time out of her busy schedule this morning to catch up with us. Thanks to Rusty Wintermode as well with the Kemper volleyball team. They were up and at it bright and early this morning as they're headed up to the CYO volleyball tournament today up at Galen. So they were on the road early. We caught up with Rusty, and we appreciate his time here today. Thomas Nelson of the Kemper Cross Country team, they're running really well right now, especially the boys. Girls starting to come on strong. They had a good meet Thursday over at Panorama. We thank Coach for coming in and talking about that. They're off until next Saturday, but we'll talk with Coach to preview that meet coming up. And Deb Danner and the Carroll Girls Swim Team, they're on their way to Fort Dodge this morning as well. They got on the road about the time the show started this morning, and Deb able to catch up with us right before they left here today. So we thank all of those coaches for joining us here today. Of course, again, on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Thanks to Pizza Ranch again for sponsoring our Coaches Show each and every Saturday morning here on KCM. Thanks to you out there, everybody, all of our listeners who have tuned in. This is my 21st season doing a Saturday morning scoreboard through the fall and winter sports season here, so we thank everybody for tuning in. We do have some local sports going on today. Mentioned the Carroll Girls Swim Team. They're on their way up to Fort Dodge this morning. That got underway at 8:30 this morning, so they're already swimming up there. Volleyball today. Arweva heading to the West Harrison tournament. That starts at 9. Audubon, ICAM Manning, and South Central Calhoun at the Carroll tournament this morning, also starting at 8:30 today. Coon Rapids Bayard heading to the OABCAG tournament starting at 10 o'clock this morning as well. And I mentioned Kemper at the CYO tournament up at Bishop Garrigan. I think I said Galen earlier, but it's at Bishop Garrigan this morning, and that is getting underway at 9 o'clock this morning. Again, our player of the game pictures and banners from last night on the CB Sports Network website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Audio from the radio broadcast is available as well on the website under the Listen to the Past Games at sports.1380kcm.com. Go back and watch that Roland Story Kemper football game on the CB Sports Network YouTube channel from last night. New Way Forward and New Way Auto Group scoreboard show from last night podcasted to the website as well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today, and have a great rest of your weekend.